Welcome back to Video Production on a Budget for Churches. This is Module 2. It's time to start your production phase. What is the production phase all about? The production phase is where you take your message and relay it. So this lesson is all about setting up your camera. The camera is the eye through which your audience will see your vision. Setting it up correctly is crucial for capturing your message effectively. So I've come up with some steps for you to go by when you're setting up your camera. Okay, number 1, positioning. You need to place your camera on a stable surface or tripod. The height should be at the eye level of your talent, and you need to make sure it's positioned to capture the desired frame and background. So as you can see, this is your frame, okay? So you need to make sure it's at eye level of your talent or yourself, and make sure it's positioned to capture the desired frame and background. Framing. Ensure your talent is in the frame. If you are a person that is going to be on screen just by yourself, ensure that you are in the middle of the frame. That way, when someone's looking at the screen, all they see is you. You can go over here into part of the rule of thirds. That's correct. And also, this is correct too. But if you're just the narrative is just talking straight to camera, you need to be right in the center, okay? That way everything around you encapsulates you. That way everything is pointing to you. All right? You need to ensure the talent is in the frame. Use the rule of thirds for a balanced and interesting shot. Your talent should be in one of the intersecting points of the grid. So here is what the rule of thirds looks like. And as you can see, I'm right in the middle. I can go right here. This is correct. And I can go right here. That's also correct. But again, if you're just one person and you're talking straight to camera, in the center, all right? You need to ensure that your focus is sharp and clear. If your camera has ADHD, it's not going to be focused. So you need to make sure that's in focus, okay? As you can see, I'm everything is sharp around me. The background's it's a little bit out of focus, but I'm in focus, okay? So adjust the focus until your talent is sharp and clear. If your camera has an autofocus feature, make sure it's locked on your talent. I will say that some of the newer cameras, yes, they're fantastic. The autofocus is fantastic, but as soon as you start moving around, it can start what's called hunting, which means the camera will try to focus on the face. Around you, it needs to have good lighting. You need to check your lighting. Your talent should be well lit, and there should be no harsh shadows or overexposed areas. You need to adjust your camera's exposure settings if necessary. Now, if you're just a beginner, just setting up your camera, just turn it on to auto, okay? That will take care of it. It'll take care of your white balance as well. White balance is your camera's attempt to make sure that the whites are correct. So if you have a light that is like a daylight light, which is around 5600 Kelvin with a K, 5600 K for Kelvin, or a Walmart light that has 5000 Kelvin for daylight, then you need to set your camera to 5,000 or 5,600 Kelvin. So what you really need to do is whatever your main key light is, you need to set your white balance to that light. Everything else will follow suit. Now you can do what I'm doing right now is I've got the light that's above me. Now the light above me here, that Neewer light, that's actually set to around 45 to 4300 Kelvin. So it's a little bit warmer. So it's closer to what you see in a house. So like 3200, 2900K. Now, if you're a beginner or if you're just using your phone, just let your phone do the work, and then also you can set on your camera, just put it on auto. But if you really want to go dive deeper, set your white balance up. Do it correctly. Just do it in camera. That way you don't have to fix it in post. Because if you do it wrong, you can't fix it in post. You need to do it correctly in camera, okay? Next one, you need to test your audio. If you're using an external microphone like this right here, you make sure it's close enough to your talent to capture clear, audible sound. Now I have got two mics. I've got this mic and I've got that mic up here, shotgun mic, and then a dynamic mic. The reason why I'm using a dynamic mic because it sounds really nice, and a shotgun mic up there I'm using it for reference. So when I'm in the editing phase, I can sync up the two. Okay, and then finally, setting up, you need to record the test shot. What's the test shot? Is basically you're just pressing record and then watching it back to make sure that you've got, make sure everything looks good and it sounds good. You need to look at the set behind you, make sure everything is where you want it. You don't need to have a tree behind you or the talent, because it'll look like there's something growing out of their heads. All right, you don't want to have a buck behind them and they have two antlers coming out of their head, and it looks like they're just some weird alien with antlers. You need to make sure that the background is clear and there's nothing behind it to make your talent look bad. Now, if the script calls for it, that's different, okay? But for what I'm doing right now, my background is clear. You can see the two colors, blue, red. They blend in together to make purple. Purple is encapsulating me, because purple, again, is like one of my favorite colors. And more about me, I like orange too. Orange is one of my favorite colors. Same thing for black. Black, orange, and purple are my three favorite colors. Just letting you know. Now we know a little bit more about each other, okay? All right. I should have took my ADHD medication, but here we go. All right, let's wrap this up. Okay, so remember, every production is unique, so feel free to adjust these steps as needed for your specific situation. Remember, every production is unique, so feel free to adjust these steps as needed for your specific situation. Now, again, like I've said before, everything we're doing right now are just tools. These tools are to help get your message out there, to reach people that need to hear the good news, the message, your message. That's all. That's why this is important. That's all that's important here. And so hopefully in the production phase, this is how you convey your message. Like you've done the preparation in the pre-production. Now the production is the action. It's the go. It's the action. And so you're capturing that in production. Okay. So next lesson. The next lesson we're going to be going over is frame rates and figuring out which one is best for you. All right, so I'll see you then.